All right, get ready, get ready, get ready. It's What's for Business with Shirley J. Cusseau, and I'm here with my co-host Diva J. Hello, hello.
Hello, good to be here.
Look at that glow, still glowing, still glowing. Well, we may as well call this Girls Show, period. I know our hot topic and our theme is Girls Going West, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. We are so excited to have two phenomenal guests on our show, and they are just making things happen in their own right. That being said, to our Facebook family, our In Touch News, we appreciate you all taking your lunch break with us. Please take the opportunity to like and share if you're streaming live with us on Facebook. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. So last night, probably before dinner, all of us were glued to a device of some sort, waiting to hear what's happening. And in this world, I've heard this term, and I'm sure you ladies have heard it as well as you listen to the various newscasts. History in the making. And I thought, if that's history, what was history many, many centuries ago? What was history when our lives didn't matter a bit as a result of slavery? What was history being made then compared to history being made today? But I get it. I get it. The history in and of itself, the verdict coming down from the life that was taken in such a brutal way with George Floyd. And there we waited. He was asking for a breath, and we were holding our breath just to see what the outcome was going to be. And you've heard it. Verdict 1, 2, 3. Charge number 1, guilty. Charge number 2, guilty. Charge number 3, guilty. We all got to breathe a sigh of relief. So before the show, to my guests, I was talking to my guests who all have sons. I have 2. Melanie, our guest, has 3. Diva J has 1 and 1 on the way. And Robyn has 2 sons. Wow. The world is changing. How we communicate that message to our young men will always be in our hearts. How do we allow them to leave home, to go to schools as they go on about their lives? But as Christians, we understand and we pray and we give them to God to protect them always. But Diva J, how did you feel when you heard the verdict?
It's a bittersweet feeling. I surprised myself.
Oh,
I sat on the couch and I watched it, and I felt my eyes start to water just as I allowed it to sink in. And I can't say that it was, tears of joy or anything. I told my husband, I said, I think I actually was holding it in,
yeah.
um, afraid to have hope that something different would be of this situation. And then just the motherly instinct, remembering that George Floyd called out for his mother, thinking about my sons, the one that's on the way, the one that's here, and just everything kind of all coming together in that moment. But I certainly do not feel that we are major steps forward in this battle. We had a 16-year-old young girl be shot 30 minutes before the verdict
Yes,
was read.
yes.
So, I certainly am aware of that, and I'm not comfortable nor complacent, nor do I feel relieved in any major ways, but I am happy that justice was served. So it was a bittersweet moment of relief and then reality. And so the journey continues, our work continues, and we just all have to, stay on our toes, stay prayerful, and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Stay prayerful, stay vigilant. And as we talk about George Floyd reaching out and on so many occasions struggling to breathe, let me segue and we'll do our introductions, but because we're having this moment and it is a moment in history that a white male police officer has now been charged on 3 different accounts for the murder of a Black man. And as we're talking about that breath, let me segue to one of our guests, Mrs. Melanie Blue. And we will officially introduce you, but I know that you actually got to write a piece. So first of all, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about that and what this verdict means to you, because you got to write a little bit about your boys and what it means when they say, I can't breathe.
Yes, I did. I was honored to be a part of the compiling author, Sherilyn Bennett's book,
Yes.
Boy Book. And I was able to write a letter about my experience raising a Black boy in America. And it was about 48 women that also contributed to the book and wrote their story. And the forward author is Miss Gwen Carr.
Yes.
Eric Garner's mother was the forward
Yes.
author, to meet her that day of our book signing. And just the experience alone, it really wasn't, the story I shared wasn't necessarily a violent story, but it was a story of my child who, in the school system, being a Black young man, the tyranny and the disrespect that some of our young men have to go through in the classroom. And he experienced a white male teacher making fun of him, making him the butt of a joke in the middle of the classroom. And it really, rattled him. And he ended up staying back that year in 5th grade. Forward to now, he's a senior in high school. He is about to graduate high school and have a amazing future. My son is not considered, that boy in the back of the class, the boy that won't pull his pants up, that boy that's always in trouble. He is a creative. He is
Yes.
an entrepreneur. He is smart and courageous. And my son, my Black son. And so hearing that verdict today, I have 3 sons, 17, 15, and 8. And hearing that verdict yesterday, it's like you almost have joy and then sorrow at the same time, because, like Diva J said, a young girl just lost her life in the same instance, in the same breath that you're excited and maybe seeing some forward movement. And then it's like, it takes you all the way, back to one. So it's like we're starting all over. But I'm a strong mother. I'm a Black woman of perseverance, strength. I will not stop bending my knees. I will not stop praying to the Lord for change. And, that's all we have. And so as women of color, we have to stick together. We have to have that prayer circle, that sister circle, that we can encourage one another, because, we're so strong, but yet at sometimes, you need that shoulder to cry on and just, have that moment to, just breathe a moment.
Just to breathe. And thank you. And thank you for sharing that's such a personal story. I know I've certainly gone through them with my boys. My boys are both grown now. And I'm going to use this time to reflect on how grateful and thankful I am that God got them through the Hillsborough County Public School System, because they really encountered some situations. I encountered them growing up, and you would think by the time you raise children, it would be a little different. But they're still Black men. They're still being stopped and pulled over and accused of things. And whew, I tell you, I know why I have gray hair today. But so I thank you so much. And I'm so proud of the fact that you were able to make that contribution to the book. And Mel, I'm waiting on my book, my autograph copy of the book. Y'all see, we have a copy of it up. But let me take the opportunity while I have you here. Let our radio listening audience know how can they get a copy of the book, and if they're like SJC, an autographed copy of the book.
Okay, so the book is on all platforms that sell
Platforms.
books, and I will be getting some of my own to sign and to give away. So if you are interested, you can email me at melanieblueglam@gmail.com, and I will make sure you get a book.
And we will post that in our thank you post as well. We have one guest. Again, we're going to introduce him officially, but she is a mother of two boys as well, Robyn.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Business with SJC. Robyn Donaldson is here. And so having heard the verdict, and you've heard from myself and Diva J and Melanie, how do you feel this morning, Robyn, being the mother of two Black males?
I'm like Melanie, joyful and sorrow, because there's so much work that still needs to be done. And I know you mentioned sons, but I have a daughter. I have nieces and nephews. I
Absolutely.
have friends. Myself, all of us are targets. So the only thing that again would like to say, I'm relieved that he was found guilty on all three counts. But where do we go from here?
Yes.
I mean, because this is something that has been happening, and for it to been video footage, live video footage, and it took this long to render a verdict of guilty, that's a problem. So again, I just like to challenge and encourage everyone who feels some sort of way to let's focus on how we can make a change,
We
whether
can
it's
make
through our local officials, whatever it's going to take. We need to act now, and so that should be the response to that verdict. It's time for us to really make some changes, and the changes that we would like to see. So those are my thoughts.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing your input. It's very, very important, and it's something that we do. It's a bittersweet outcome, but it happened, and it allows us to at least see that a step. There are thousands more to go, but a step has been made, and to see the way the world rallied around again because they were able to see it from that video. So hold on to your cell phones, and when you need to record some things, start recording. And it takes you back to Rodney King. And I was listening to his daughter, and she just broke down in the interview, thinking that look how many years since the Rodney King incident, and even though we saw it on film, to where we are to today. Let's continue to pray. So talking about change, as I heard Robyn say, what are we going to do? How is it going to impact our lives? There's a lady, she's a phenomenal mother, grandmother, author. And after all these years, and we're talking about this timeline of justice, think about Dr. Gladys B, that's for Brown, Gladys B. West, and what she's doing. So you're going to hear us talk about Girls Going West, a mother-daughter virtual book club that all these ladies are a part of. But let me start by introducing our first guest. You've already heard her. She's made her own introduction, but a little bit that you need to know about her. A born entrepreneur. What does that mean? It was in her blood. She started being an entrepreneur as a teenager. She has this creative spirit. You've heard her talk about it. She's a glam girl at heart. And if you all have been on the show or watching us, she is glammed up. And we appreciate that about your spirit. And there is that sparkle about you because I know you and I've seen it, and I love the way even your girls are growing up with that creativity and that sparkle. And we'll hear you talk about them as we go throughout the show. But here she is, Diva J. Did you know she was also a event curator for many, many years, glamming up weddings and other special events? And so, just like so many of us, given the vision from God to create her own company, Glam Girls and Company, a nonprofit organization that we will again hear more about it. It serves girls between the ages of 12 and 18, not only in the state of Florida, but she's going worldwide. If I actually had to, you heard her talk about the chapter or the piece, the letter that she wrote in the book, an anthology book compiled by Shirley and Bennett. Get a copy of the book. We will have that posted for you. To describe her, devoted wife of the Pastor Derek Blue. They both are founders of a non-denominational church, Active a Church. You will always find them in DSI Black pages. Married, are you ready for this? 19 years. She looks every bit of 19 today. The mother of 5 beautiful children. And you heard her talk about her 3 sons. She calls them her heartbeats. And I love their names. All of the boys' names begin with the letter D, and the girls' names begin with the letter M. She can explain that later. Mrs. Melanie Blue, welcome to Let's Talk Business with SJC and my co-host, Diva J.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome. So remember what we said about her, and we're going to segue to Diva J, and she's going to introduce our second guest. Diva J?
So, one second here.
Yes.
All right, so hold on to your seats for this next introduction, okay? You're not ready for this. So our next guest is Ms. Robyn Donaldson. She's the owner of Renew Construction Services and the founder and executive director of STEMXposure. And you can see that on her beautiful virtual background today. Her company, Renew Construction Services, was awarded a contract with the NFL to provide janitorial services for the Super Bowl experience, as well as the Super Bowl Sunday. In addition, Robyn successfully renewed her contract with the Tampa Convention Center, where she's able to provide employment for 65 people in the Tampa Bay area. As a resident of Hillsborough County, Robyn deems it a necessity to engage in philanthropic endeavors to bring forth positive impact. Her community involvement includes engaging in community real estate development while also providing students with experimental learning through STEMXposure camps, events, and activities. Her philanthropic efforts also include Youth Build, where she mentors and teaches, and she serves as a mentor to women entering the construction industry. Robyn serves as the ACTSO chair for the NAACP local chapter, where she engages in preparing underrepresented minority students for STEM careers and to provide them with access and opportunities to bridge educational gaps. She has also served as the NWFL chair and the National Education Chair of the National Association of Black Women in Construction. She's played a key role in the establishment of the NABWIC chapter at Florida A&M University, aka FAMU Engineering Department. In addition, Robyn has developed curriculum for the Florida Polytechnic University engineering students. She's a certified NCCER trade instructor, proctor, and performance task evaluator. And now, while working as an entrepreneur and serving her community, Robyn finds time to mentor women and assist them in transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. She's currently working to develop a program that will provide them with the tools and skills necessary to transition into full-time entrepreneurship, where women are empowered to utilize their gifts and talents to make a positive impact in their community. So if you haven't gotten the clue yet, she's just simply amazing. Welcome to the show, Robyn Donaldson.
Oh, thank you. All I can say is thank you for allowing me to be here. And I make a living from giving.
All right, I like that.
So that's it.
You make that your hashtag.
It is. That's my hashtag. I make a living from giving.
Listen, thank you both. I'm looking forward to what God has in store for both of you in your lives and your philanthropic giving. But listen, Diva J happens to have spent a lot of years working with nonprofits and is currently working with a nonprofit today. Isn't it interesting, Diva J, that we have 2 owners of nonprofits? And being the expert that you are, I know it's something that I do. I work in fund development. I've done it for a number of years for a number of organizations. But you, Diva J, you have your hands on the pulse of working with a nonprofit specifically geared towards childcare.
Mhm.
What would you say to our two guests about the business of nonprofits?
Well, I mean, I think, Robin's theme of, I make a living by giving is the number one thing. I think with anything nonprofit or for profit, the mission has to be greater than you. And then from there, getting the community involved, getting community engagement is so important because then you have others out there spreading the mission beyond your immediate reach. I work heavily with the organizations I support in fund development and organic fund development. So not necessarily grant writing, but fundraising. How we can all have dreams, but unless we have that monetary backing, it's quite difficult. And so to our guests who I'm sure are successful, and I know they are successful in their own rights, just continuing to do what you're doing, like being on shows like this one, letting the world know about your mission and your organization, and always letting us know what your needs are, whether they're monetary,
Yes.
in kind, whether they are services, volunteerism. I am known for shameless plugs. So I welcome you all making sure that it is made very clear how can we support you and holding the community accountable to being supportive because you're making an impact not just within your organization, but within the lives of our next generation of leaders. And so oftentimes my clients like to throw me in meetings where I have no problem letting people know this is what you can do. And by the time we need it done, this is how you can get it here. So I'm certainly excited to hear more about your organizations, but I definitely want to challenge all of our viewers to support your organizations in more ways
Absolutely.
than one.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is so true. And we're all here today. We tell you that our tagline is catch the show that will be all up in your brand's business. But today we're all up in these nonprofit businesses. And whether a profit or non for profit or not for profit, listen, we all have to do the work. You have to put the work in. One of the things Diva J has said, and I repeat it often, right now, we're not necessarily meeting people face to face. But if you're on that Zoom, you're in that room, make your presence known. Make sure that they know that you're in the room and what you do in your business or your life. So take advantage of those opportunities. We just become professional beggars. But listen, that's my title. What we are here today because let's see, for Black History Month, we celebrated the life and the living life of Dr. Gladys B. West. And by now, I hope you have all read her book or heard her story. And if you're a friend of Let's Talk Business, then you know about her. And I think we may even have a little clip. We were so moved by her. And long before she became a guest on the show, I enjoyed my conversations with Dr. West and her daughter and her husband, Mr. Ira West. Her life is just incredible. And what she went through to finally get her book published, we felt it, and Derek Blue and I decided that we needed to do something. We wanted to do something. And it goes back to your point, Robyn. Whatever it is that we're doing, we better make sure that our life is also always about giving. And we wanted to do something for her, so we decided to host the virtual book club. But it's beyond the book club because we now have a 90K 90-day challenge. So it is now becoming the 90K books in 90 days. And we're hearing from people from all over wanting to find out how they can support Dr. West and the book, which proceeds from that goes to a foundation that has already been started for Dr. West and her husband, Ira West. They both are HBCU graduates and believe in the STEM program. Dr. West specifically wants to make sure that our young girls understand what the STEAM program is and go after it. Allow your voice to be heard and to be counted. And so we've all come together We're going to talk about Dr. West, and the book club is going to be held on Saturday, May 1st. It's a virtual, it's actually a mother-daughter virtual book club. And we will get to hear from Dr. West and the writer that assisted her in creating this amazing book. Let me see if you guys can see it.
Mhm.
It began with a dream, but I know it's up on the screen. It began with a dream, and she is so excited about it. And I wanted to talk about the importance of why we do what we do. We have two leaders here, two philanthropic women here. We have four, but two that are our guests today. And I'm going to take a step back. So that's what pulled us here. But let's find out why these two women are going to play such an integral role in supporting the movement of Dr. West. Girls going west. We're going west because we're going west with Dr. West. Let's go back to Melanie Blue. Our show is the who, what, when, where, and how of your business. So please allow our radio listening audience to know the who, what, when, where, and why of Glam Girls and Company.
Yes. It's funny because everything that I've started as far as businesses always come from the Lord, and they always come from a dream. I woke up from a dream, and God gave me the name, the mission, and the vision, and He said that there's a book attached. So there is a book that I'm going to be writing for the girls nonprofit as well, but he's so detailed with me, and yet he doesn't give me all of the information. So he gives me the stuff that I can run with, and then as I start moving, he thrusts me forward. And so
Ooh.
when I woke up and started the organization, I will be honest, it's almost like a calling. This is like a ministry to me. So I was running from it for a moment because I was nervous. I felt like, okay, God, you're entrusting me with all these girls and their mothers, their parents, all the people that love them. And I kind of got nervous, but then, the Lord spoke to me and said, this is not about you. It's about the people that God has attached to me. And so, so I was like, okay, so if I don't move, they won't move. And if they stay still, if I stay still, they'll stay still. So I was like, okay, I have to do this thing because it's not about me. So the fear and everything, do it afraid. Do it, when you're shaking your knees, do it anyway, because something you'll say or do will catapult somebody else in their life. And so I started thinking back in my past, and my mom was a very intricate part of my whole life, my whole upbringing. And that's why I feel like she passed away in 2018.
Oh, sorry.
So thank you. And she was like my number one cheerleader. And she definitely was somebody who instilled in us, me and my sister, it's only me and my sister, but she instilled in us in an early age of the arts. So I did ballet and tap for 9 years. I did modeling. I went to theater. She exposed me to a whole new world that I never have thought about. And it's crazy because when I think about everything that I do within the nonprofit, it stems from the things that I was exposed to. And so exposure
Absolutely.
is important. STEM exposure. Hello. Exposure is important because it allows you to see yourself in a space you may not ever have been able to, be a part of. And so that's one of the biggest things that I love to do is expose young girls and even to their mothers to things that and their fathers and their families to different experiences, because that was the thing that triggered me to want to build out Glam Girls and Co. And I say in company because I want to partner with other organizations that are having the same vision and mission that I have, because
Wow.
no man is an island, and it takes a village to raise a child. And so the experience that I had I'm from up north, I'm from Connecticut. So we used to go to New York quite often. We used to go to the theater. She used to teach us about culture. And, STEM got involved with my daughters. My sons are very tech savvy. They love gaming and all of that, music production. And then my girls love to write. They love STEM and math. My youngest daughter is 11. She did the math bowl with Hillsborough County. They got silver place with her school. And, you know,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Listen, before you get into Malia, we've got to take a commercial break because I don't want to miss a single point. She is just a little pistol. So let's do this. We're going to break for commercial. So ladies, put your logos up, but we'll be back in 2 minutes to hear more about Miss Leah, Malia. Back in a moment.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
And we are back. Melanie Blue was talking to us about one of her daughters, and we want to go ahead and continue the conversation as you tell us the who, what, when, where, and why of Glam Girls. Melanie?
yes. And so a biggest component of Glam Girls is STEM, but I like to call it STEAM because I add the art in there as well.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, STEAM. Got to put the art in there because I did modeling at a young age, and I taught modeling. So I wanted to incorporate all that pageantry, philanthropy, all of that type of stuff. So my daughter was really an intricate part. She actually got me really involved because math was my worst subject in school. I'm going to be all the way honest. But she got me so excited to learn more about math because she excelled in it and loved it. And she just was made to be part of the gifted.
Yes.
She's a gifted student right now. She's going to be going to a gifted camp for STEM this summer. And then she was the National Honor Society president this year. She just tried out for it. Yeah, she's like, Mom, I want to try out for president. And then she changed her mind. I was like, no, I'll do treasurer. Nope, you said president. And she interviewed, and the principal picked her. So the principal and some of the teachers picked her as the National Honor Society president for 2021. So she just blows me away. Both my daughters, my oldest daughter, she's 13. She's really following in my footsteps as modeling. She's a part of Barbizon modeling agency in Tampa, and she got invited to Disney, what they call the Passport to Discovery.
Yes.
Disney, yeah. So she's going in August, and she will have, auditions that she'll go on, modeling competitions and things like that. So she'll really be exposed to all kinds of agents and stuff all over the world. People from Paris, New York, California, Africa, all over come to this competition. So I'm super excited for them. And, my goal and my mission for Glam Girls is every girl is born with a dream for their life, and we help inspire them to birth it into their purpose. Because I know that we all have a purpose for our life. We all have, there's a reason why we're all here. And so that's what the goal for Glam Girls is to inspire them, find it, help them birth it, and make something out of their lives, because they're needed,
Yeah.
they're needed, and they have a voice. And now is the time to raise up young girls to believe in themselves, have confidence, and doing something that they believe in as much as the people around them will push them to do.
I think that's phenomenal. I love it. I love it. The way that God has given the dream to you and what your girls are getting ready to do. But before we segue, tell me about your daughter's involvement with the Mother-Daughter Book Club for Dr. West.
Yes, she, when I was honored to be asked to be co-host with you on May 1st, and then for my daughter to be able to interview Dr. West, she was ecstatic, to say the least. I mean, this little girl, she is so fearless. She's so fun, and she takes everything as a challenge. Like, oh, Mom, I could do this. I'm so excited to do that. And that's a picture of her when she won for her school with the math bowl. They won.
Oh.
That was
Well,
her.
let me, on behalf of Let's Talk Business with SJC, my co-host Diva J, we say congratulations to you, Malia Blue, for making things happen.
She's a little Dr. West.
She is doing her thing. A mathematician already, and that's what Dr. West studied at Virginia State. And so we are so excited, and we're looking forward to the interview and allowing her. But this is the beautiful part about this sharing that we're doing today, because we're going to segue to Robyn Donaldson, who's going to share with us the who, what, when, where, and why she began STEMXposure. And listen, Robyn, as you're getting your thoughts together, I wanted Diva J to come in. Diva J, for Melanie Blue and the girls that she's working with, where did you get the name Diva J from?
Oh, so I'll make it as short as I can. In 8th grade, my 8th grade teacher used to call whatever group they thought were divas, divas. So they gave that name to my group of friends. And when I got to Hillsborough High School, to your point, Melanie, arts played a role in me kind of finding my purpose. So I was a dancer on the dancerette team, and I had to put a name on my jersey. And so I said, well, I'm still a diva. I'm Diva J. And then it really became concrete when Miss Tampa Bay Tammy of In Touch.
Oh, yes.
She found out that I had won the Miss and Living Color pageant. And she called me because me and her daughter Kendall are really good friends, Sunshine. And she goes, Diva J, we need to get you in the paper. And so I began at the age of 15 writing a column in Touch newspaper. And ever since then, I've been a part of the In Touch family. They branded me in concrete and stone as Diva J. And I've kept that. That's been in high school. People didn't even know my name. I was the dancer called Diva J. And so I embraced it, and it's really allowed me to just grow my brand and my business, and give me an identity to run with, to make a part of my purpose. So,
and I wanted you to share that, because as Melanie Blue is now grooming these girls 12 to 18 years old, it's very, very important that they have positive role models that will help them, as you say, Melanie, bring their purpose to fruition. Now Diva J is like my goddaughter. Diva J and my daughter were best friends. We were neighbors forever and a day. And as you watch these girls grow up, who knew? Well, yes, we knew. And even with Diva J starting her business and my daughter into the whole beauty thing, had her own Jador beauty salon. And today she has her purpose. It's called Turn Up Your Purpose. And so that's how she spiritually leads and guides young girls. She's over in Johannesburg now, all over the world, making a difference. And that's why it's important that we support girls at that age so that they continue to be our leaders for tomorrow. Get ready. Waiting patiently to tell us about what you have going on. You heard the bio. Let's hear from you, Robyn Donaldson.
Well, again, thank you for having me. And Melanie, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea. Like, I'm in love with you all over again.
Oh, thank you.
And none of this that your daughter is doing is surprising. She is just a mini you, and she's walking in her purpose
Yes.
just at an earlier age. And I
Thank
commend that.
Thank
In
you.
fact, I would like to have a conversation with you about her joining the STEM exposure team.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I would love to have that conversation with you. And again, thank you for having me, Cheryl.
You are welcome, girl. You
I'm
are not a guest
always
on our show.
I'm always excited to talk about something that is so dear to my heart, which is STEM exposure. And I will say the ironic part about it is it was STEM exposure was started in 2018 while I was at 5508.
Yes.
And it was your husband, Derek, who
Yeah.
came into my office and he says, Robyn, can you design some conceptual drawings to help revitalize East Tampa? I said, well, let's just have these kids design what they want their neighborhood to look like. And it gave birth to a awesome start of where we are now. Um, the camp really caught on.
Yes.
Like it grew overnight because of course we only had 10 in 2018, 10 students. And then the following year, 2019, we hosted the camp at the Glacier Children's Museum.
Yes, you
We
did.
had 32 students. And it ranged from third through 12th grade. And the Mayor Jan Castor, she joined the forces. She's one of our biggest sponsors. Um, I mean, again, it was just an awesome camp because so many in the community just really joined forces to make it a successful camp. And of course, 2020, we had at least 7 in-person camps slated. However, COVID hit and we had to make the decision on canceling or going virtual. And for those who know me, I don't have we don't have I don't have a pause or stop button. Okay, those things don't exist.
Right.
So we were able to host 2 camps. The first was local, and we were able to impact 32 kids from the East Tampa area. Also, 2 weeks later, we went global in the middle of a pandemic out of my garage. And we were able to impact 120 students, 7 international students. Um, but most importantly, I think the takeaway is that the students were exposed to technology that they are now using to solve a community problem.
Mhm.
And then also these students, they learn how to advocate for tiny homes because the topic is affordable housing and tiny homes for the homeless veteran population. And so now these students not only were exposed, but learned how to use the software, but then also to advocate. They know how to properly advocate for change. And I'll be so excited when the day comes that we can actually present for the public and, of course, the city.
Ooh.
And then also, with that being said, we created a pipeline because it's not enough just to expose these kids. Wherever their interest lies, that's where we're going to push them and equip them with whether it's a mentor, a certification, an AS degree, or if they're wanting to go off to college for that 4-year degree and beyond. We're there to push them. And right now, we do have 2 seniors who are dual enrolled at Hillsborough High School, pursuing biomed and also architectural design and construction building. And they both have been accepted into FAMU and Howard University. So yes.
Y'all
So
got a
that's
whole debate down.
right, a meltdown, meltdown. So again, it's our goal again is to expose our kids to these STEM careers. And I feel that there's crucial times in their, specifically 3rd grade, because as you know, they say 3rd grade assessment test builds prisons. And then also right? So, and then also you have those students that are entering the 6th grade, which is where they choose their electives for their career choice. So if STEM exposure can expose these kids and give them some options prior, now they have some options. And so I've discussed the who, the what, the students, they range from first to 12th grade. And then also I work with youth build students, so that's 16 to 24. And then also I have an awesome program where I'm working with women, encouraging them to bring their talents into the construction industry. So as the kids say, everybody can get it. Everybody can get the same curriculum, right? Um, but again, it's just really exposing because I know that my mentor did that for me. When I was sitting in school, I was like a penny with a hole in it. I didn't have a clue. I did not have an exit plan. Not to mention, how was I, a Black female, going to enter into the construction industry? And she took me all around the country, just exposing me to the different facets of construction until I was able to make my choice, which is architectural design and construction building. And in the beginning, you rattled off a lot of things that I do. But again, when it's my passion and my business is just aligned perfectly. And I have been blessed with, I'll say my boy JC, Jesus Christ, he's all in my situation. And so that comes to how. I don't worry about how, that's not my business. I just know why. And then everything has fallen into place. Uh, Amazing opportunities like this to talk about such an awesome program and solicit to the community, because is we really need the support of the community to make this a another awesome camp year. But I would like to add that we are going global again. We will have representation in Kenya and in the UK. And with that, if that's going to segue into how I'm excited about being on this West Trail, because again, I feel that every student should have a copy of this book.
Yes.
And we have it, we're wanting to host 300. And so primarily they will be in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete surrounding areas, because of course we're soliciting through the Peach Jar. So all public Hillsborough County schools. We're encouraging these students to register, but then also we're going to have a global presence.
Robyn,
I'm just excited. I'm just excited.
We're excited for you. I've got to allow Diva J to chime in. We wanted to ask you, about some of the challenges that you're facing and what it is that the community can do, how we can help you. So we want to maximize the time that we have left. So then at the end, we'll come back and talk about book club itself. But let me hear from Diva J, because, you just mentioned that one of your students has been accepted to Howard University, and she got off of my screen, so I couldn't see her for a moment. But I know that chest was poked out. Diva J?
I mean, it was not only Howard, but also Hillsborough. So I feel in my heart like I need to say, is this student going to Howard? And if so, I think I need to give them a scholarship or do what I can to push this forward. Few people, I oftentimes say that you don't know whose shoulders you stand on. And so I think it's important that just, hearing that just made me think, okay, what can I do? What do I need to do
right.
to support this student along their way? So, so how can, and it might not just be me, how can people support the students that you're working with that may be in their senior year or maybe even having some difficulties? How can we support them through your program?
Okay, so volunteering would be the first way. We need some volunteers.
Okay.
Specifically with the pipeline, because that is designed to ensure that our students get into college, if that is their desire, whether it's college or either on the job. So we need employers. Right now, I have an awesome relationship with Dr. Simone Jenkins at HCC.
Awesome.
And then also mentoring these girls, because right now they have not decided on which school to attend. I'm leaning toward, FAMU, with their awesome architectural program, but of course, just loving on these girls and, encouraging them and letting them know that all things are possible. All things are possible. And then also there's a great need in our marketing and then also sponsorship. So we are The camps are free for those students that have a free or reduced lunch number.
Okay.
And also, we're going to solicit to the Hillsborough County School, which Larry Plank from Tampa Bay STEM Network has been an awesome supporter with providing the students with laptops or Chromebooks.
Yes.
And I can't again stress enough marketing, because the more people who learn about the program, they react just like you did, Diva J. They're really excited and they're really wanting to really participate. And this particular camp, and thank you for sharing the flyer, Cheryl. This particular camp, again, is revolving around tiny homes. Um, and I want to send kudos to the mayor, because she did allocate some properties for us to build these homes. For these veterans. And so this year's camp is, again, the affordable housing, the tiny homes, but then also it's Champ Camp. So, in Tampa Bay, this is Tampa Bay, with the win, with the Super Bowl hockey, and then, the baseball, the Rays. And so to keep that momentum going, I said, what better way to honor the champs by having, other than having a champ camp. And so the students will design their tiny home, but then of course it would honor their champ. So whether it's a celebrity, an athlete, or just someone who has really done a lot, who has changed their life. So anyone can be their champ. And the interior design will be filled with their memorabilia, and then they will have an opportunity to tell that story. And we need some PR. We need to get to Tom Brady. We need, all of those, and not ever discounting our local champs, because we do want to honor Warwick Dunn, late Vincent Jackson, and we are also taking nominations for champions.
I know I put my nomination in.
And of course, Miss Gladys West is one of them, right? So, again, it's going to be a very, very robust, exciting camp. Because again, these kids and being that it's only a 2-week camp, when these kids learn technology, they don't learn like we learn technology. Like, it's just something that it's in their DNA. Mm-hmm. And so from a 2-week camp, the renderings that they produce and the feeling that they're going to get, knowing that they can do something that can change someone else's life, that it can change the community in which they live, and they have the opportunity to be the architects of how they want their community to look.
Ooh.
Hey, what else can we do? Right?
Well,
what else can we do?
Here's one thing, Robyn. Tell us the address of the first, and you guys can look, there's an article in DSI Black Pages. We had the flyer up earlier. But tell us the address of the first home that was designed by your students in East Tampa.
That's off now I'm old, but it's off of Caracas. And I can actually get you the exact address. I know that the first house that we're going to build, the tiny home, now it's not going to be your average 8x24 tiny home, because of course it has to be sold. And a 8x24 is a hard sell, plus it has to be within the affordable housing guidelines. So we challenged our student to, let's just take this irregular lot that we were given and design a home on a smaller scale, which is now is like 1,000 square feet. But it fits the lot perfectly. And it's really a nice design. It's an awesome design. And that location, that address is 2910 28th Avenue.
Okay, well, we want to make sure that we add that. So what a great segue. You talked about being able to recognize the champions. And so we have one, Dr. West. We're doing the show live. As you alluded to, there's so many things, and Diva J, you can certainly help us. It's going to be, we want to put 90,000 books in our students' hands. And that's reaching out to corporations. And just think about it. If each of us asked 10 people, we would be there before tomorrow to go. There's you can actually go on Eventbrite, and the Eventbrite will stay up because it's a 90-day challenge for 90 days. Robyn has already indicated that she needs 300 books. And she wants to make sure that every student in her program has Dr. West's book. A couple of her students will actually be on the live with Dr. West on Saturday, May 1st. So please make sure that you go to our Eventbrite link. We will post the live link after the show. Go ahead and register. You can actually purchase the book if you have Audible. Have the book read to you while you're driving or resting in bed. That's certainly what I had to do. I read the book, but I also got the audio copy because it was her voice and I wanted to hear her tell her own story. And it's an incredible story. I personally call it a love story. And Melanie, you may not know this, but she has adopted Derek Blue and I as her grandchildren.
I know he's
That makes us very, very special.
Yes.
Although
Yes.
true transparency, I told her she'd have to be Mama Gladys to me. She can be Grandmama Derek. But that being said, so yes, we want you to invite. Not everybody will be a part of the core to ask the questions, but you will be able to put your questions in the chat. The book club will be on Zoom. And our ask is that you share and you post and you repost, because we know, like when God gives it to you, my first thought was 9,000. No, my first thought was 900. But when the Lord gives it to you, Robyn, you don't ask the how. You just do what you're supposed to do, and he begins to open the door. And there are other businesses that's already chiming in and wanting to make sure that they get their copies. And the reason I say Audible is you can read the book and be prepared for Saturday, May 1st. And then you can actually go on the Eventbrite site, and it's not hard to remember. It's Dr.-Gladys-B-West Book Club at eventbrite.com. But we'll have the link there for you. But you can also get an autographed copy. And I was having a conversation, Melanie, with Robyn, and she said, "Oh no, all of our students' books will have to be autographed."
Right.
I said, "We gotta get Dr. West a stamp," because Dr. West is 91, and I think she's doing like 10 a day. So we need to get her a stamp.
I'll be reaching out to my daughter's school, Malia, to the principal. We'll be talking about that, get some books into the hands.
And that's what we need to do. Reach out to our children's schools and other organizations that we have. And so all of the information is there. I'm so pleased to have you, Mel, as my co-host. I'm so pleased to have Robyn from STEMXposure. And we're supporting you again this year. We're supporting one of your students as well from your very, very first STEM camp. DSI Black Pages and Cuso and Associates was right there with you.
Yes, ma'am, from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
We will continue to do our part. Diva J, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I mean, you ladies are phenomenal. So thank you for being on the show. Robyn, if you check the chat box, I've sent you a private message. I certainly want to connect in more ways than one with what you have going. And Melanie, I'm a former pageant girl. So I would love if ever I could be of support and assistance with mentoring your young girls. I would certainly love that. So I definitely want to be a part of a productive community. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know what ways I can be of support or just help spread the word or whatever your needs are. I'm not afraid to ask.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I wanted to chime in because it's something that I just saw.
Okay.
You see this little 90-day little button?
Yes.
All those who are wanting to support the cause, they need to change their Facebook button to that. So
well, you know what, Robyn? The graphic artists are producing a sticker.
Okay.
Those persons order their book or support books. We're working, Amazon is working with us right now to get us a corporate discount for 10 or more, because we have corporations who want to also make sure that, their employees get books or they're donating the books. And so our graphic artist is coming up with a sticker right now so that so you'll be able to put it on your website, your Facebook page. All of us will be able to do this. So you see how God is working this thing out, and great minds think alike.
Yes.
So to you, Robyn, Donaldson, STEMXposure, Renew Construction, Melanie Blue, Glam, for Glam Girls and Company, we are part of your company. I am so excited to have both of you, to still be working with both of you and your causes. It's so important. And Diva J is right there with me. And she means what she says. So whatever she put in that chat, both of you, make sure you follow up. When someone makes that appeal to you, you got to follow up with them and take advantage of it. We are so thankful to have you both. We are looking forward to great things coming from your organizations